Alright. Hey, check it out, it's MediaShinobi, and we will be reviewing Spartacus War of the Damned, episode 9, entitled
The Dead and the Dying.
So let's have it.
Basically, this episode starts off with some Romans getting jumped by Spartacus and his crew, and we find out these Romans didn't belong in Crassus' army, they belonged to another general named Pompey. And this plays into later on in the episode, but basically we see that Agron is actually still alive, which I was surprised. Like, I totally forgot that he was in the trailer and he was like still showed more scenes of him, which we didn't get to see. So I'm like, oh yeah, so that was my bad. Agron's still alive, and it's fun. He still like talks crap about Caesar and Marcus right in front of their face, even though he's getting beaten, and he actually gets crucified at one point. So I'm like, damn, I gotta give it to Agron. He might not be the strongest of the gladiators, but he's still like he can persevere. He's like a tough guy. And we learned that Naevia actually was released because basically Marcus wanted to use her as like a message to Spartacus saying that this is gonna happen to you in the future. Like she even like gives Naevia her Crixus' head, and as just like a really messed up message. And Spartacus, I could see in his eyes, he's like super pissed at this point. Like he doesn't like scream to the heavens like, you know, as like the certain movies where like, damn you! Like, no, he doesn't do that. He's like, but it's all in his eyes. Like he's like the burning rage is in his eyes. It's just, he wants revenge really badly. And so we go back to Crassus and Marcus' group, Marcus Crassus' group, and he gets visited by a couple of Roman soldiers from Pompey, you know, like I said, the General Pompey's group, and they tell them that, hey, we want to join you, but let's negotiate, so we'll meet up in a certain location. And at first, Tiberius is like, no, we don't know Pompey. He might screw you over, or he might take the glory of taking out Spartacus on his own. So Tiberius decides to go himself. Like actually Julius Caesar, you know, offers, say, hey, let Tiberius go. And this was smart for Julius Caesar because he realized that those Roman soldiers, so to speak, are just rebels in disguise, using the armor they got from the Roman soldiers from the beginning of the episode, from Pompey's soldiers, and they just wear their armor and disguise them, so they can infiltrate Marcus's group. So then Tiberius comes in and goes to the meeting place, and it turns out Spartacus is right there, and the face on Tiberius' face is like just hilarious because he can just like pure shock that he just realized that he walked into a trap. And after that, they capture him. They don't, the Spartacus group, they don't kill him, they just knock him out. And Spartacus did something which I hoped he did, like he did in history. Basically, he got all those Romans he captured and made his own ghetto ass arena and did his own gladiatorial fights, which is like, I love the fact they did that because just because it's a great honor to Crixus, and we finally get to see Tiberius, a little shit, gets it. It was just great. So then word breaks out that Tiberius gets captured because the real soldiers of Pompey finally get to Crassus, and he realizes that, oh, it was a trap. And Julius Caesar did this all on purpose because we all know he wants to get back at Tiberius for what he did. And what better than, you know, screwing him over like that. So then Marcus suggests that for Caesar to go in and negotiate. Basically, he wants to negotiate 500 of Spartacus' men that are still alive that he captured for Tiberius' life. And you know, Julius Caesar, he doesn't want to, but he wants to get a good word from Marcus Crassus, so he goes for it. And so we go back to the rebels, and we have like some awesome gladiatorial fights, like in their own ghetto ass arena. And it's cool to see again because I did miss those gladiatory fights. It's a small area with just people just murdering each other. It was a great spectacle to see, and some really good I can't say choreography. Choreography.
I was like,
shut up. And by the end of it, and it also funny. I forgot one thing. Corey actually comes in, and you know, saying that, oh, Tiberius, you brought this on yourself. And Tiberius like, please, sir, saying, please help me. So Corey's like, okay, don't worry, I'll be back when you're dead. Yeah, I laughed at that. It was great. And so after all that happens, Tiberius is the only one left, and she fights with Naevia, which is appropriate because Naevia is the one that's really hurt the most by this. So yeah, it was pretty one-sided. Navy was whooping his ass most of the time, and he finally got him on the ground. And just when Navy was about to kill him, Spartacus intervenes and says, "No, we have to." He actually makes the decision up to Navia, since you know she's the one that wants to kill this person. He pretty much says, "Navia, in order to save the 500 people that were captured, we need Tiberius alive." So yeah, I like how it shows that Navia, like a pretty selfless person, even though she's been through so much, such a big tragedy, she's able to forgo her needs for the best of others, which I really liked. So the last scene of this show just shows they put Chris's head on a pyre and they start burning it for like a real funeral for him. And the scene was very emotional because they pretty much mentioned all the characters that died for fighting for this cause, like Anameus, Donar, Nemetes, even though he was a dick. They didn't know about Nemetes being sketchy, doing that bad stuff behind their backs, but whatever. And they even mentioned Barca. That was cool. But I wish they mentioned Varro. But at least Spartacus mentioned Varro. But that was I got over it. I just wish they just mentioned that. But other than that, it was a great ending, and it just shows that this is really it. Like Spartacus' final words in this episode is pretty much, we are gonna take on Crassus, and either we're gonna take him down, or we're gonna join Crixus in the afterlife. And he does a lot more things, but the speeches in this show, I just cannot do them justice. It'll just feel like an insult if I try. So yeah, we're at the end right now. It was a great episode, and I just can't help but to feel emotional for it because I've been following it since the beginning, and just to know that next week is the last episode and last time we're gonna see these characters again. It was really heartfelt. I loved it. The fights were great in this episode. How Tiberius goes out was like satisfying to me because that little shit deserved it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hopefully the series goes out with a bang. I'm gonna probably have man tears by the end of this series. And that's all I gotta say. This is MediaShinobi saying out. Peace. Oh yeah, one more thing. I just want to quote this because it's my favorite quote of the episode. Pretty much Spartacus comes up and says, "This night we shall honor the dead with Roman blood." Yeah, I can't do it first.
Lame.
Shut up!